Next point.
I have another one.
We have less than 45 minutes, so let's move it on, not delay.
I will go with whatever I have to go with, Dave. I think trying to censure me and limit is not appropriate,
We knew
so.
coming into this that we had a 3-hour limit. You can deal with this.
How did I know
and
we have a
prioritize.
3-hour limit?
I didn't
Because
see
it was set for 5:30 to 8:30
On what?
on the agenda.
Okay, well, that's fine, and so we have time. No, my next one is, you did stipulate at the beginning of your document, and I'm not gonna go there, about all the parameters or all the ways that you compile the information. From inside the county, outside the county, research, that's all done fairly early in the report. And you did put in there about the public comments and the public hearing that had occurred. What I find lacking in the report is, like to Brian's point on the percentages of the people who spoke against it, the actual amount of people who talked, the emails that we received, just an accurate representation of what it is that we actually did receive during the public comment, the one in September, during the public hearing, the one in January, and the culmination of all of the public comments written. And it was stipulated in there, but in no way is it represented in the report.
That's correct. I guess my thought is that in making the report, we weren't attempting to summarize the minutes of our approximate year of meetings. So if you think that is something that is material and important to include, then we can.
It's a simple I think a simple sentence of between all of the information received, written emails, because you stipulated in the report, the emails, the public comments, the 2 public hearings or public forum that we had, the overwhelming response from the public, including, and you could put the numbers in, the people who were for, the people who were against, so nobody's left out, and stipulate that in there. And that's a 2-sentence thing, saying this is what we received. You don't have to go into what Brian did and explain the reasonings why. It's just an accurate representation of what happened and throughout the tenure of this commission and what the public has stipulated up until this point.
I think if you're going to do that, you're going to have to say 200 people objected and 130,000 voters haven't responded.
Whether they responded or not, Dave, Hold on.
What are you afraid of? Go ahead, Tamara.
Hey, guys, please, thank you. That is not a correct representation. We are representing, and what they stipulated in this report is that they had listened to all of this, compiled all of the information that we received. Anybody had an opportunity, as you have stipulated, over and over and over. If they wanted to come and talk, if they wanted to say something, they could send it in. If people wanted to do that, they could have had any opportunity. It was county employees or anybody in the public. But they stated in here about the public comment period, the public forum, and all the written emails, that they took those into consideration. Yet at no point in it, from all of that we received, this is all that we can deal with and put in there, that was not represented. Why was that not represented?
It's meaningless in the report.
It is not meaningless to
It
the
is.
report. That their responses,
They will be free to respond to the county commissioners when the county commissioners take this up.
So you will put opinion-based information that purposes to support your agenda in getting this pushed. But you're ignoring the people and what they did for hours and spoke about? That's exactly what you're doing.
We didn't ignore the people. We don't have that percentage in there, or the number, or vast majority, whatever.
It was 90 to 10. Brian did the whole thing, yeah.
Well, we haven't validated it, but I'm assuming it's higher than 90 to 10. I'm assuming it's higher than 90 to 10. It's probably 99 to 10. 99. Why?
Or you could just say a what is it? A vast majority.
We did, when you made a statement that we didn't listen to the people, and that's not true, because this report has attempted to put the things in there that we heard from the public. Now, whether or not putting in the number makes any difference. We've heard from the people. We'd have to go back and look at all the comments we got on the positive. We haven't told people it's going to be in a report. It doesn't make a difference one way or the other, whether we put it in there or not. If you could put in there that we got input, and the input was not in support of it.
That's a simple sentence.
Yeah,
I think that would be
but
accurate.
again, I think you're trying to do the opposite of what you're accusing us of trying.
Which is,
Trying to sell this a different way. We weren't trying to ignore the people.
okay, I retract that because you're correct.
Yeah.
You are correct in that
Yeah.
you did put stuff in there from them. I think that this is, and that was, I apologize
Yeah.
for that. However, I think it's just a simple statement to put in, it was a vast majority from all the public information received that were against this. If we're wanting to put a full report into to our county commissioners, it's a simple statement, it's an accurate statement, and it brings in everything that, that they talked about without having to go into detail. We don't have to know the numbers. It was a vast majority to what you
Yeah.
just said.
No,
Go ahead, Brian.
to Dave's point about, certainly they're a cross segment of the population that is vastly larger than the commenters, right? I mean, how many was 170,000 in population,
Whatever the number.
right? And we got about 255 comments, and something like 90, just over 90% or something were not in favor of the recommendation. And, I think there's a way to string those three things together with a sentence at the end that was like, let we the people decide, which is, look, we had public comment, we received comments, we broke it down into, what were the comments, what categories did they fall into, but in general, like over 90% were against. It is an interested segment of the population that commented. Obviously, not everybody in the county commented. That said, it was informative to the public, or it was informative to the process, and it is, the recommendation is passed by this majority. It's time for the people to decide, right? I mean, I'm just trying to walk through a sentence string that would lead to that, kind of at the end, where he said, let we the people decide, because it's I would consider a representative. I tried to say this in my remarks that evening. One presumes it's a representative portion of the population. It is not the entirety of the electorate that submitted comments. We understand, and this is what they broadly indicated, but we've done our best to take that into account, and now we pass it to the commissioners for what they're going to do and let the people decide. Something to that effect. I was just trying to piece together three different people's views into one consensus statement.
Well, and I guess my suggestion is that in the document, I think the place that this would best fit would be toward the end or at the end of section 3, which is the description of the process that we followed as a study commission, if we were going to add something. So another couple of sentences structured somewhat along the lines that Brian and David have suggested. Seems like that would be the best place to insert it into the document.
Further discussion? Personally, I don't see that it gains anything, but let's call for a vote. Can someone structure this as a motion?
So moved to add in some. So moved to add a representation sentence or verbiage to show the responses from the email and public comment in public forum.
Second. Brian, was that you? Yeah. Call for a vote to do that. I have 4 votes for. That then does not pass. No? Kristen, did you want to vote for that motion?
I want to vote against that motion.
Fine. We had 4 votes for it. That does not change, Senator. It did not pass. Go
This
ahead, Phil.
report is an analysis of